Hi, I'm Jill. If we haven't met, I am your movement and wellness teacher today. And we have part 3 of our Pilates for Beginners series. So we will take the fundamentals that we learned in the past 2 videos and then just keep playing with them and building on them a bit more today. So all you need for this movement sequence is your mat and a towel to support your head. So I will see you in just a second. Go ahead and join me on the mat and get your towel ready to support your head. And then we are going to come down to that constructive rest position that we learned in part 2. So we will come down to our back with our knees bent and our feet on the floor. So remember your dome foot, because those domed feet are going to land on the mat. And bring yourself down. Get yourself as gently organized as you can. And just decide today where it feels right to have your hands. Maybe they want to rest on your pelvis or down by your sides. You could even bring them to prayer position or kind of an inverted prayer position with your back side of your hands facing each other and your fingertips down. I think I'll stay there. So just shift your attention now inward and see if you can find your 3 main body weights. So see if you can feel the weight of your pelvis. And maybe just make any notes to yourself about where your pelvis is at in space. Does it feel tipped one way or another? Does it feel like it's equally weighted on both sides? Does it feel nice and neutral? So if the top of your pelvis was a big bowl, as we discussed last time, and is that bowl kind of horizontal on the top? Or do you have water spilling out of it anywhere? And then draw your attention to your rib cage and just notice if you can feel the weight of your ribs. And notice the contact between the back side of your ribs and your mat. And notice if it feels even on both sides, or if there's just a general clarity or lack of clarity between your connection to the floor and your upper back. And then bring your attention to your head and check in with the weight of your head. Notice if your head is equally weighted on the back side, or maybe it's slightly rotated, or maybe your chin is tucked or lifted a bit too much. And then draw your attention downward to your feet and see if you have an awareness of your feet connecting into the mat. And a sense of those foot domes. And then the center of your hip sockets, your kneecaps, and your toes all gently aligned. And then we're going to shift our attention to our breathing specifically. So you can leave your hands wherever they're at, or you can take them to a new position. I'm going to find them on the outside of my ribs. And you're just going to take a breath in, nice and gentle, and see if you can gently inflate your ribs by focusing your attention on your lungs. So your lungs are what hold the space of your ribs open. And then finding a gentle exhale, allowing those ribs to hug and come in towards your spine. Again, taking a breath in and finding a gentle widening action. And exhale, allowing those ribs to hug and wrap the spine. We're going to take a few more breathing patterns just to sense the breath from various focal points. So now bring your hands down to your lower belly for me. And you're going to take a gentle breath in and see if you can just feel your lower tummy gently inflate without pushing it out. And then as you exhale, your lower tummy gently falls back in towards your spine and also upward towards your belly button. It's kind of a diagonal motion. And again, taking a breath in, allowing that lower tummy to gently inflate and expand outward and downward. And exhale, drawing your tummy gently, allowing it to rest inward and upward. And then you can leave your hands there or bring them to a new position that feels comfortable for you. And we're just going to start working our foot connection into the mat a little bit. So maintaining the dome of both feet, we're just going to start paddling the feet. So the left foot comes up, maintaining the dome, and then it sets down. The right foot comes up and sets down. Good. Alternating sides, left and right, and you can just take it on your own time. Left and right and left and right. Good. And rest. Now we're going to roll to the balls of both feet and set both heels down. Hover and flex both feet, maintaining the domes, and set both feet down. Good. Again, there's a fly right on my nose. And roll to the balls of both feet and set them down. And then we're going to play with a little bit of coordination challenge. So one foot is going to maintain the dome and flex, and the other foot is going to roll to the ball of the feet, set both down, come back to neutral, and switch. So paddling through the feet with good attention placed in the arches of the feet and maintaining the dome of the foot on the side that's flexing away from the mat. And just keep that going a few more times. And then we'll bring it to a resting spot. Good. Now we're going to articulate the feet a little bit more. So both feet are going to peel off. Your toes are all going to spread and widen. They're going to set back down, and then they're going to scrunch up into the tiniest, smallest foot that you can find. And then you're going to flex both feet, spread and widen the toes, set the feet down, and again, scrunch everything inward. Flex and dome, spread and widen your toes, place the feet back down, and scrunch everything in. Last time, flex and dome, spread and widen, set everything down, and scrunch it all back in. And then just bring one foot up and give it a bit of a shake out if you need to. And bring the other foot up and give it a bit of a shake and a wiggle. And then set it down. Now you should have good awake awareness sensations in your feet, and we're going to shift our attention to our pelvis. So just reorganize those newly energized feet into neutral alignment. So hips, knees, toes all aligned. And then draw your attention to your pelvis, and we're just going to start with some pelvic motion. So you're going to exhale and gently curl your tailbone up and pour some water towards your belly button and release back to neutral. Again, you're going to curl that tailbone up and release back to neutral. One more time, exhale and curl and release to neutral, and let's reverse that. So you're going to now tilt the pelvis that way, pouring water off of your pubic bone and come back to neutral. Again, pour water off of your pubic bone and find neutral, and pour it off of your pubic bone and find neutral. Last time. So you're arching your lower back and lengthening your lower belly, and then we're going to add some rotation. So now you're going to pour that water off of the right side of your pelvis and bring it back to neutral. Pour it off of the left side of your pelvis and bring it back to neutral. You're going to keep that going, and I want you to maintain awareness of your foot connection into the mat and the alignment of your thigh bones maintaining. So you're still in that hips, knees, ankles, toes alignment. Pouring water off of your right hip and then back to neutral, and pouring it off of your left hip and back to neutral. And then we are going to connect all those dots. So this is called pelvic clock in the Pilates world. So if you want to watch it, go ahead and sit up and just watch it for a moment. So I'm going to start by pouring water towards my belly button, and then off the left side of my pelvis, and then off of my pubic bone, rolling around and pouring it off of the right side of my pelvis, and then back to my belly button. And then I'm just going to go that direction again. So rolling around to the left side, pubic bone, pouring water off of the right side and pouring it towards my belly button, and then I'll reverse. So pouring it towards the right side, pouring it towards my pubic bone, water is going towards my left hip, belly button, right hip, pubic bone, left hip, and belly button. And then you can just shake and wiggle. If you were watching, then go ahead and pause me, rewind, and do it again with me or on your own. And then we are going to just remove the towel out from under our head, because we're going to come into a bridging sequence, and I don't want your head to be knocked out of alignment now. So coming back into this constructive rest position, and we're just going to press gently into both feet until you feel that hover both sides of your pelvis up evenly, and then gently lower it down. Again, gently pressing into the domes of both feet to float the pelvis and lower it down. And again, pressing into the foot domes and floating the pelvis and laying it back down. So this is just an unfolding of the pelvis and then a recreasing of the pelvis. So it's like standing up and sitting down. And now we're going to change that into a little bit of articulation. So now we have rocking the pelvis back to that water towards your belly button, pressing into the feet until your pelvis gently lifts off of the floor, and then just coming up as much as you're comfortable. And then starting from high in the spine, soften your sternum, your breastbone into your body, and start setting down those upper vertebrae, middle vertebrae, lower vertebrae, and then your tailbone releases back to neutral. So again, we have an exhale and scoop that tailbone up, pour some water towards your belly button, press your feet into the floor and allow your spine to hover. Soften your sternum into your body and reach those upper vertebrae back towards the mat, setting them down from upper to lower one at a time. Fill your entire spine until you release that tailbone. Let's take it one last time. Exhale, scoop and curl, pressing your feet gently into the mat. And at the top, your top, wherever that's at, soften your sternum into your body and reach those upper vertebrae down top to bottom and release the tailbone. And then just give your pelvis a shimmy and a wiggle, whatever feels good to you. And then we are going to just do one other thing in this position on our back. We're just going to practice. You can bring your towel back to support the weight of your head now. So without pushing our guts out, but allowing everything to stay softening inward and feeling collected within ourselves, we're going to practice just gently lifting the weight of the head up. And so in order to lift the weight of the head up in a way that is not stressful, your shoulder blades need to be organized well on your back, on your rib wall. So let's just do a few things to wake up the shoulder blade connection into your deep belly. So just go ahead and bring your fingertips, your arms up with your fingertips facing the ceiling for me. And then we're going to gently reach for the ceiling. And then we're going to gently draw back down. So if we think about that movement from your shoulder blades get nice and wide and they drop down a bit. And then your shoulder blades get a little bit narrower and move upward a little bit. So they drop down and widen, and they move upward and get a little bit narrower. Good. Reaching forward and drawing back. And reaching forward and drawing back. Good. And reaching forward and drawing back. One last time, reach those fingertips to the ceiling and then reach your shoulder blades to the ground. Lower your arms by your side. Let's go palms facing down maybe. And then you're just going to take a breath in to prepare, keeping your pelvis nice and heavy and neutral. And then you're just going to float up just a tiny bit until the back of your ribs, the back of your upper ribs come off the ground. And then lower everything down. Exhale to float. Inhale to lower, so the arms come with. Exhale to float. Inhale to lower. And exhale to float. And lower. Exhale to float and hold. So your focus is just gently looking at your thigh bones. And last time to lower. And just rest. Give everything a wiggle. And we are going to just do a few arm patterns in this same position here. So get yourself reorganized if you need to. And then bring your arms back up to join me. And then we have elbows open wide, wrists, fingertips reach, squeezing back towards midline. Elbows open wide. We have wrists pulling apart, fingertips pulling apart, and squeezing everything towards midline. Elbows, wrists, fingers, squeeze everything towards midline. And last time, elbows, wrists, fingertips, and squeeze everything towards midline. Now go ahead and open your elbows and create a nice big circle like you're hugging a tree with your arms. And we're going to draw the right arm away from midline and then bring it back. Good. Bring it away and exhale, bring it back. Inhale, take it away and exhale, bring it back. 2 more times. Inhale, take it away. Exhale, bring it back. And last time, take it away from midline. And squeeze it back, switching sides. Take your arm away from midline, but keep your ribs soft and heavy. Pelvis is soft and heavy as well. That arm comes away and then it squeezes back. And it comes away and squeezes back. And last time, draw it away and bring it in and open and close. Last arm pattern here. Bring your fingertips up to the ceiling, but palms facing away from you. Feel a gentle lift through the arches of both wrists. We're going to exhale and gently lower the arms, maintaining ease through the pelvis, ribs, and head. Rotate your palms up and gently float your arms back just as far as you can go until you feel some resistance. Rotate the palms down and exhale, pressing through space as though it were mud. Rotate the palms up and bring your arms back through that same pathway of motion until you feel the weight of your ribs pulling away from the mat. So that's your range of motion. And every day is different. One last time, rotate the palms up and lift those arms. Rotate the palms down and press them down. Good. So we're just going to lift the weight of the head one last time here and add in a little bit of hundreds breathing. So if you're not familiar with it, you can just watch and then join in. So, and just see if after we've moved the arms a little bit more and warmed up their upper body, if you notice it's easier to lift the weight of the head. So bring your arms down by your side, palms facing down, lifting through the arches of your wrists, and then check back in with the domes of your feet, your lower body alignment, and the weight of your head, ribs, and pelvis. Gently float up and hold. Palms are rotating down, and we have inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. As the arms pump, you're breathing and you're staying calm, and you're feeling the weight of your pelvis and the back lower edge of your bra line connected into the mat. And just see if you can keep it calm and steady. And if you start to feel stressed anywhere, you can bring one hand back and support the weight of your head with that hand and keep the other arm pumping. If you've gotten off with the breath, we have in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch hand support if you're in that place and just take 2 more sets. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Place both hands behind your head and gently release your spine. Good. We're just going to roll over onto our tummies and reverse our spine for just a moment. So that's our movement sequence for today. Once you're, like, if you memorize that sequence, for example, then you could of course move through it in a more like time efficient manner, but it's never the goal to rush through the movement. It's about being centered and focused and precise and quality over quantity. So just come into a belly position, into a gentle cobra position, wide legs, elbows under your shoulders, lifting through the arches of your wrists, and then just take your focus down in front of you on the mat. And we're just going to add a little bit of neck rotation. So just gently look towards me. Hello. And then we're going to look the other way, gently looking past your other shoulder. And bring it back to the center. And let's just add a little bit of a neck circle. So leading with the very tip of the nose, circling. And reverse the circle. and rest. Press yourself up onto all fours. And let's just end with one last thing here. So tuck your toes under. And we had taken a little bit of a tail swing in the last video. So we're just going to add on to that. So imagine that you have a good connection in your mind's eye to your tailbone. And we're going to take pelvic clock in this position. So circling your tailbone. Just pick a direction and go, and see if you can just keep the movement mostly in your pelvis. We're not going to involve the upper body too much just yet. And reverse it. I definitely have a few snaggly things going on today. And now you can add the head. So your head and your tailbone move in agreement with each other. Circling, and yeah, you might feel like a little bit of a pole dancer. That's okay. They have very supple spines. And then reverse it. And last one, reverse it. And rest. So thank you so much for joining me today. That's just another bit of some Pilates fundamentals. And I just also wanted to remind you that I'm an intuitive eating coach. So if you're interested or need some help healing your relationship with food and your body, and you feel like you have a connection to me in the way that I teach and share information, then you might enjoy that as well. You can find all that information below in the description of this video. So remember, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do that, because I produce one weekly mindful movement video. So thank you again so much for joining me, and I will see you next week. Take care and bye for now.